Good morning from Scotty Ray Candace. Today is Thursday. The weekend is getting closer.
I'm ready for the weekend.
Now, what is hard to just totally understand is this morning you wake up, it's freezing, 32 degrees outside, and that is freezing.
I did not realize it was going to get that cold.
They had projected 35, and it went a little bit lower than expected. And then today, we're going to be about 71, 72.
Well, maybe I won't burn up today. I didn't wear too heavy of a shirt today.
Yeah, if you carry a jacket early and then chunk it later.
I know. I don't even bother taking one unless it's like freezing, really bad.
Our only chance of rain that we've got is Friday night. We have a 20% chance headed into Friday night. By Saturday morning, that's gone. Great news. And then we'll get about 65, 63 on Saturday and Sunday. So great weather if you're planning on doing outdoor stuff in the yard. It's going to be perfect for that.
Well, good. I think we're going to be trying to last minute move some things, from Kurt. So.
Well, I've already got my marching orders, and my wife, Angie Ray, and I don't know how many people, she'll get on these, I don't know what the word is, but she's gotten into this chicken thing.
I'm waiting on the chickens.
She's got chickens ordered, and her huge chicken coop is not finished, so we got to finish the chicken coop so the foxes or whatever, the hawks won't get her chickens.
Right. Because foxes, from what I understand, they'll dig into the pen and to get them. But she's done a great job with this. I mean, really, she has. She can do anything. I mean, she is a jack of all trades. She's really got anything. I mean, anything she sets out to do, she gets it done.
Yeah, I'm always tripping over a piece of lumber. Just come on.
I want a chicken coop.
Kurt
keeps saying he kind of keeps veering towards no, but I'm thinking. I'll hear him telling people, well, Candace wants chickens. I do, because I love eggs, fresh eggs.
I bet you money we're going to have eggs out our ears for long.
You will have a bunch of eggs now.
Now, we do go through a lot of eggs around here because I eat 5 or 6 a day myself.
Well, I'm starting today on this little diet thing that I did it a while back, and I lost like 8 pounds
now, what is
in a couple of weeks.
Your goal?
20 pounds, because I want to get back to at least in my 120s, because I ain't in my 120s.
Do we would you do a scale thing where we put you on a scale every day?
I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care. I mean, who cares? I don't.
I remember years ago, and I joked about this, about how they were updating driver's license. You know how you stand and you get your picture? And I told everybody that it was going to be a scale, because everybody lies on the driver's license about their weight, to where when you get your picture made there, that it would automatically put your weight up in the corner so they could tell. And I got a call from Jackson from the Highway Patrol, asked me not to quit joking about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was 10, 15 years ago. It was funny.
Yeah, but today I'm starting. So anyway, it's this egg diet type thing. We talked about it the other day.
Where you only eat eggs?
Well, you can eat other things, but like for breakfast, you eat like a couple of boiled eggs, which is not my favorite. But anyway, that and a fruit. And then at lunch, you can have a salad with chicken breast or something in it and a fruit. And then at supper, you can have another salad. So I'll be eating eggs and salads.
She's going to be grumpy is what we can all really get. Because I'm telling you, when you starve yourself, you can't help but be a grumpy person.
But really, I mean, when I did this last time, I really wasn't starving. And if I snacked on stuff, it'd be like celery and carrots and stuff. Because I don't mind that. Cucumbers and carrots and celery dipped in, a little bit of ranch dressing, but not much. But anyway. I'm losing weight that I'm going to. I'm setting my mind to it because this is ridiculous. I can't even fit in some of my pants anymore. And
you doing the thing where you just walk around with that top button undone, you just don't say nothing?
Put a rubber band on it and stretch it over to the other button. No, I hadn't done that yet, but I just go buy me some new ones that I can breathe in, but I'm tired.
You got to breathe in your britches.
Right, you do.
So that's where we are this morning and how it's all beginning there. And I think there's a lot of people, the losing weight thing is not going to really take effect until the mask mandate, and you're kind of through that to where you can start doing things again.
Of course, then everybody start going out to eat a lot more. So.
I'm locked in the house. I tend to eat more than if I were to go to a restaurant. I think.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, used to I snacked like really good. I mean, snacked like healthy snacks.
Right.
And I've gotten to where, since everybody else in my house likes sweets,
I'll
go get me like a piece of cake or something if there's cake. And I always tried to have something for everybody else, and I never ate it. But nowadays,
6 bowls of Frosted Flakes at night before you go to bed.
No.
Boy, that stuff is good. I'm telling you. Oh, Tony the Tiger.
I used to eat cereal a lot before I went to bed. That would be my supper a lot of times.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I know. But, I guess I've reached that age where you just can't eat before you go to bed.
Yeah,
That's when you start gaining weight.
They say that. Anything you eat late stays with you.
Yeah, it does, I think.
And she's going to the honeycomb hideout. That's what she's doing. Let's see some things that are going on this morning. Who all remembers Dwight Yoakam?
I do.
It was this week that his first album came out 35 years ago, Guitars Cadillacs. Dwight is in, and if you notice, the reason I bring this up, if you go to Spotify or these places, you can't download the album anymore. Dwight, California law states that after 35 years, the rights goes back to the original owner. So that would take the rights to the CD away from Warner Brothers back to Dwight, and he sued them. He kept asking for the rights. They wouldn't give him, so he sued them, and now they've taken them down to where you can't listen to it. So we'll see what happens. But this is the headline here is Dwight goes for that. 35 years ago, that does not seem that it could have been that way.
I know. So right now it's been 35 years.
Yeah. Yesterday, as a matter of fact,
so
it was
after 35 years, it goes back to him. Okay. I was just thinking if it's been over the 35 years since he's been asking, Now, he started asking, I think he started sending letters in late November and December going, hey, that date's coming up in March. Okay.
And they didn't turn him over, so he is sued. Okay. So we'll see where this goes. I'm sure this will be one of those landmark decisions that is made because it's probably written in there that nobody even knew it was there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder how many people just never pursued that because they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then, if they went back and pursued it now, I wonder, would the record companies owe them money?
Good question. Like you take Toby Keith, when he left his record label, he bought his music from them. He went and borrowed the money from the bank, so he's got 100% of his stuff, which was very smart. Not everybody can pull that off.
Yeah, that is smart.
Because, Taylor Swift, they sold hers, she couldn't do anything about it for millions. And it's worth a chunk of change.
Right.
Let's see. This is in the news this morning. I posted this a little bit ago. How many times have we seen this on television to where people line the street, block an interstate to where you can't pass?
Oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of times.
And that makes me a little nervous because they can attack your car, and then you're kind of like trapped.
Well, it just happened in Jackson not long ago.
Yeah.
Roundabout, in that area.
Tennessee is being one of the first states to do this. They're passing a law to where if you get hit being in the middle of the road, you cannot sue the driver of the car. It gives immunity to them. And I think that's good. And
it's a felony also. So maybe they could be arrested before they ever do get hit. Because who wants to... who wants to, I just said yesterday, we have, an issue in the area where there's somebody that tends to get in the road a lot, and I said, somebody's going to end up hitting them.
Well, and I think most everybody in the West Lauderdale school area knows what we're talking, the gentleman that rides the scooter in the middle of the highway at night.
Yeah.
And
it's scary because, I've come up at night, come right up on, and it's just a wonder I didn't hit him,
Yeah.
It's scary. And so I don't know. I just said though, whoever hits him one day, because it's just bound to happen one day. It's
I know
scary.
The law has been called.
I hope to goodness it never happens, but somebody's gonna have to live with that.
Yeah, it's an accident
and so
waiting.
Right, and it needs to try to prevent it if possible. I don't know really what you can do, but anyway.
Because anywhere up, and if you're not from this area and you're anywhere near the reservoir, be careful because this guy does that. Just right down the middle of the road, and those little scooters go 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, but yesterday, he was on foot, with a walker. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just scary. No, he was not in the middle of the road. He was on the edge of the road, but on the grass. But still, it's scary.
It's dangerous.
It is. I hope I hope he never does get hurt.
Yeah, but
anyway.
things like that can happen.
Right.
So keep that in mind and always be able to slam on brakes to miss something when something darts out in front of you.
Yes.
Good morning to Deborah J., all the way from Meehan, Mississippi this morning.
Hey, Deborah. I know Deborah.
Oh, she's doing well.
Kinfolk.
Kinfolk?
She was Yeah,
Has she been removed? Like J.D. Hall removed a few people there.
She was trying. No, Deborah, we know. But anyway, she's sweet, and she used to be my customer, and she is a hoot. I'm talking about make you laugh.
Just making sure I had the whole family history here.
Yep. We are kin.
Good morning to Lily and Glenn this morning. Hope you're doing well. Cindy Davidson is watching all the way from Snell, Mississippi. Yes. Also, Linda Jane says, I call it my COVID weight.
Yeah.
That could be.
I don't know what I want to call it. I'm just.
I call mine chunky.
Just as I get older, I mean, I could smell something and gain 5 pounds. I mean, just.
Well, the older you get, your
Sniff the
interests,
food.
I think, change. You know, like when you're young, you're worried about going to the movies and hanging out with your friends at the beach. And the older you get, it gets more into recipes and, whoo, what am I going to cook today?
I know.
Because it makes you happy.
Yeah, I love to cook when I have time to cook. And I like to cook for other people. And usually once I've cooked it, I don't want it. You know,
Really?
like after I've sat there and prepared it and smelled it, and I just, you know, I will eat, but I just don't care for it.
We're learning a lot about Candace this morning. Let's see here. Donna Roseman says, good sunny morning, and it is a sunny morning outside. Let's see. Deborah J says, praise the Lord, they need mowing down like squirrels. Let's see. Yeah, squirrels run out in front of you.
There you go.
The guy that was hit a couple years ago. So that may be the same gentleman that was hit. I'm not sure. LaWanda asked that. Scooter was destroyed, but he was not hurt.
Yeah.
Hope Linda Culpepper says, I hope your Thursday is blessed and wonderful. I enjoy watching the two of you and hearing the things that you share with us. We appreciate that. Every now and then we'll be funny. One day. We ain't got there yet.
Oh, goodness.
Let's see. Joyce Godwin is watching this morning also. And let's see. Somebody said they hadn't seen him in a while. Hope for healing there. But as you said, you saw the gentleman on the side.
Yeah, I mean, he was I did see him yesterday. And I don't know what the story behind that is, but I wish.
There's another gentleman that walks a lot in the West Lauderdale area, a black gentleman that gets in the middle of the road.
I've seen him. It was raining one night and like pouring down rain, and that makes it hard to see in itself. And then it was at night. And
he may have an illness.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's just dangerous either way.
Yeah,
but I know I've seen other people stop that know him and try to help him get into a car, and he.
Yeah, because like I said, you know, they're putting themselves in harm's way, and then whoever one day might end up hitting them or something, that person will have to live with that. I mean, that's just.
And you know, this happens a lot in Meridian. It hadn't happened in a while, but I have seen this in the past, and I think everybody will remember people trying to cross I-20 instead of going down and walking around there, try to run across And you can't do that.
That happened one night. You know, somebody got hit. And that hadn't even been a year ago, I don't think, that happened.
And that's awful.
It is. It's scary.
So if you're ever there, go a different route. Don't ever try that. Because you could trip and there'd be no way you could get up.
Right. I mean, that's just
so
scary.
I posted this morning. This is, I'm trying to see what state this was in. This is in North Carolina. And, of course, we all know the police train their dogs. They work off commands. But a handler with the police department, it's an investigation now. There's video that come out this morning to where the dog gets out of the cop car, and he shouldn't have. And he scolds the dog pretty hard. And to put him back in the car, he puts a chain on him, a rope
type, or a collar thing.
Collar. What do you call those?
Leash.
And he picks the dog up by the neck on the leash. And as we look at this story here, this is what's coming out of here.
Is what it looks like.
Yeah, it does. And as you go about this, so let's pull this up to where you can actually see what's going on. Again, I've got the sound turned down on this. It's going to cut to this. Here it is, starting here. Here the dog jumps out. He tells him to stop. And he walks over to him, and he's fixing to put this leash around his neck, as you can well see there. Now, this is where it turns ugly. Now, he finishes picking up, dragging him by the neck, and, of course, you know that can't feel good. Now he's going to slam him up against the car.
Gosh.
And that is one of the headlines today.
I mean, you know, in situations like that, when you use one of those animals for, I guess, for police purposes or whatever, you want them to mind, and
Correct.
You don't want them to get out if they're not supposed to, because it could mess up an operation up or something. I mean, but that's cruel.
Yeah.
Like, I would think there'd be different ways to, I mean, I'd rather just put a shock collar on them and pop it or something, you know.
I've never been around police training on dogs, so I don't know what is typical.
I don't either. I don't know either.
But his response to all this is, well, he was in training, is why I done that. And I don't, doesn't sound like great training. But there's dog handlers out there that are watching that I'm sure know the
right.
answer
I mean,
to that.
But I don't know. That could be like a regular thing.
Yeah,
I don't know,
to us, it doesn't look normal,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Let's see here. Let's see what else is stirring on here. Dolly has taken the plunge, and she said she was going to wait, but she has gone ahead and went out and got the shot. There's a picture of Dolly getting her shot of the COVID shot there. No word yet if her arm swelled up like mine and hurt all night. She didn't call me. I don't know why, but she didn't.
I don't know, Scotty Ray.
That's one of them. Here's an interesting story. 1988, a young girl, and this is going to be out in, I believe it's California, is where this is, in Texas. A little girl in 1988, she was 7 years old, went to a laundromat with her mother. The vending machine broke, and the guy that was trying to get the Coke out of it starts kicking the machine, and then he turned around and stabbed the little 7-year-old girl in the stomach. She died. And her classmates, and all of this 1988, some 30 years ago, they are now trying to put a memorial at the high school where they all went to in remembrance of her.
Right.
It touched me.
Yes.
I know it's a cold case filed. They never caught the guy. He ran away.
That is horrible. I mean, that's just so senseless.
The mother was also stabbed at the same time. She was stabbed. She survived. She was stabbed in the arm all down through it several times by the guy over a vending machine not working.
He must have been mentally ill or something.
Yeah, he was never caught though, and maybe they can raise the money and get the school to do that for him. I think it's
that would be good.
Yeah, it's a kind gesture, a nice thought there. As we look at everything going on across America, and we brought this up many times of kind of staying to ourselves in Mississippi, Alabama, here in the deep South. We used to take vacations where we went to these large cities where you'd go to Portland. Beautiful city.
Yeah.
You'd go to New York and all these. And since this defunding of the police has happened, I think most Southerners, and probably even outside of the South, don't feel comfortable going to a large city anymore. And this is just another reason why. As we look at this headline here, a 61-year-old man is attacked during daylight. He had $817 on him. He's kicked and beat in the street. If you look at this is New York is where this happened. And they take all the money that he had in the world and left on the street. Now, he was injured, but not.
Yeah. Well, not too long ago, we reported a story that a guy had just got off of what was it? Just got off of
Atlanta.
And
came in off a bus.
Right, and they attacked him right when he had gotten off the bus.
And took all his money.
And you said that was in Atlanta?
He rode from Atlanta to New York.
To New York. Okay, I thought it was New York, but. Okay.
And as soon as he got off the bus, they attacked him.
I know a lot of people who have gone to New York just on a vacation, just because they've taken their teenage daughter for a senior trip,
right?
Or just for the experience of going. I've never been.
I'd love to see the statue.
Yeah, I had always said I wanted to go, and I'd love to go at Christmas. When they have everything
Rockefeller
decorated.
Center and all that.
But now this kind of makes me feel leery about ever going.
It does until they get somebody running the town that punishes.
We'll
people
get things
for their
under
crimes.
Control because it's totally out of control right now.
It is. As we go back and let's touch this, because I was not aware of this until I read this headline. And of course, it's in the news. Do I know this information to be 100% without a shadow of doubt? No, but this is the headlines this morning about the COVID shots, the new one that is coming out, the Johnson & Johnson. Now, others may have this also, and I'm not aware of it, but Catholic bishops are urging people not to take the Johnson & Johnson, which is the one shot, because they say it has aborted fetal cells in it from children in it.
Yeah, I'd heard that. But I might be wrong, but I'd also heard that the other ones possibly had it in it too, so I don't know.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that on
I mean, I don't know what of course, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what
I don't know the
purpose
ingredients
of having that in it is. I'm sure it serves some kind of purpose, I guess, but
no comment from Johnson & Johnson on that, but the Catholic are urging not to take it because that used the other.
But the controversy about that, the other day I was listening to people discuss it, and they were saying that possibly other vaccines that we've always gotten through the years might have the same thing.
And we're just not aware of it.
And we just didn't know it.
No, I can see
Who knows? I don't know what, like I said, the purpose of putting that in there is, but,
even if they, the writing is small, you wouldn't.
Right.
You'd have to do some major research. And I don't know enough about it. I'd love to talk to a doctor that does know who, what, and how, or maybe the scientists who developed all that. But that's what the Catholic have to say about that this morning. Let's see here, some other stories. Let's see here. Cherokee Nation, I thought I'd bring this up quickly. They are not being sued, but the Cherokee Nation is acknowledging the descendants of slaves will now qualify as Cherokee. After a lawsuit, they're going to allow anybody that was a slave of the Cherokee to become a member of the tribe, which would make you benefits that they have. You know, they'll get a check or whatever every so few months. They would be eligible for all benefits of the Cherokee Nation. So that's headlines this week. Now, high school, did you enjoy it?
I did. I didn't like the work.
Well, how'd you do on test?
Not great. You know, I hear now people have like test anxiety. I think maybe I'd had test anxiety back then.
Did you ever have the urge to maybe, look on somebody else's piece of paper to get an answer?
No, but and y'all can all, I'm sure, agree with me on this. You all had that one student in the class that was super, super smart.
Oh, yeah.
And, you'd like, do you know what, can you, like on homework even, do you have the answer to like number 2?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. And you're like, are you serious? You're the smartest one in the class. But I did do that. I'd ask a question.
No one ever asked me for the answer to anything.
I never was a cheater. No.
Cheater. Everybody knows your name. As we look at this, students have really gotten good at this, of creativity. This young girl put it on her fingernails.
That's pretty smart.
That's Greek to me. I don't know exactly what that is. But as you go down, you can get it on your calculators. And this one here went as far as to bring a fake arm to class, to put the fake arm there and then use his real arm underneath it to Google the answers on his phone. Ingenious.
Yeah.
Pretty good there. Absolutely. Napkins. And then this one was busted with invisible ink. Of putting it on a piece of paper, then hitting it with a black light. Got busted during a test for that.
These are creative. Like, we would have never thought about this.
How would you do this, of engraving this in your shoe?
I don't know. That is odd right there.
You'd have to have some form of a hot stamp.
Yeah, you'd have to heat something up. That takes a long time. Now, you really wanting the answers. That must be formulas or something, too.
Might have been easier just to study by the time you got all that done.
Yeah.
As you go down, this one printed a fake water bottle label with all the answers and wrapped it.
That is smart.
That was ingenious. And of course,
that's time consuming. Now this right here, I think I'd notice somebody having this all over their legs.
Yeah, you'd get busted.
I think as far as some people that I knew back in high school would write it on the desk in pencil, because the desks were light colored like that.
Yeah,
they'd write it on the desk in pencil and scoot their paper over it.
You can take your thumb and usually it'd smear off.
Yeah, just wipe on off. But I don't know. I always was one of those. I was scared I'd get caught. Because I probably would have got caught.
Yeah, because we're not good at
it. I would not be a.
And probably those same people that were really good at cheating then, there's no telling what they do now. So when you bump into them in a business deal, keep that in mind.
Right.
Just want to remind you that. Sometimes that stuff kind of sneaks up on you there.
That did aggravate me, though, somebody being super, super smart. You ask them, did they have an answer to number 2? No, I don't know.
Help me out here.
Like, you know.
LaWanda said on the puppy dog, she sees that as abuse.
Yes.
Donna said that makes her sick. And Denise Covington said other vaccines do have abortion parts in it. I did not know that. Barbara Chapman wanted to make sure everybody had a nice day. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Good morning, Barbara.
So
I talked this morning.
I get tongue-tied myself. Don't forget, coming up this weekend out at Why Not Motorsports Park, they're going to be having the Battle of the States. Of course, practice runs Friday night, and then the big race is Saturday night, the 6th. Make it on out to Why Not. See Rodney and the gang there. It starts this weekend, the very first race of the year. Not bad at all.
I need to go take Alden out there. He'd love that probably.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
It truly
I hadn't
is.
been in like a long time.
And Rodney tells me the great thing about Why Not now is there's Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
You
know what that means? You'll see everybody in their phones at the little breaks in the middle of, if they have them. I don't even know. I would think they would in between little races.
Yeah, so a little change there for Why Not Motorsports Park this weekend. Let's see other things that are happening around the world. Let's see what happened on this date. Oh, yeah. This was history. It's the only time that this ever happened, and it was never done after that because of the damage. Andrew Jackson was elected president. He goes, hey, y'all, come on back to the White House. We're going to have a party. And he did that, and this is what happened. They tore the windows out. They tore up the carpet. They stood on everything with muddy boots, and it was a disaster. And the only way they got him out of the White House was the staff took the whiskey and the food and put it on the lawn to draw him outside of the White House. He learned a valuable lesson there to never do that again. Gosh. Did you know that happened?
Well, no, I did not know that happened, but, I mean, it's kind of like you say back in high school. You say party on Pine Springs Road. Everybody's going to be there, you know. So
that did happen. It was 1861 upon this date and you'd have to stare. He is back in, I want to say, right in this area. I've seen this picture many times, but Abe Lincoln, that's a picture of him being inaugurated in 1861.
Is that, well, I'm sure a lot of them had those big tall hats on.
Yeah, he's amongst them right up in there.
Yeah.
There's other pictures that have a zoomed in. It's still kind of blurry, you know, for the time. But interesting date back in history that happened.
Yeah.
A divorce happened. This was the first high-profile divorce ever that really come out of Hollywood. And, well, it was Lucille and Desi. 20 years they were married. I didn't realize it was that long.
I didn't realize they had been married that long either.
And she decided she just couldn't put up with him anymore for whatever reason it was.
I was wondering why they would divorce.
I've never read the history on that, of, you know, why.
Maybe she got sick of hearing she had some splaining to do.
Hey, Lucy. Gosh, that was
We've got
funny.
some splaining to do.
And he was Cuban, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
But, boy, they had a great show.
It was good. It was funny.
1963, it was way before my time, but I've heard the song over and over and over. It was released today, Surfing USA.
Oh, yeah. I remember, I mean, of course, you know, I listened to the Beach Boys when I was little. That was a big thing. And you'd see them on shows. You know, they'd like make appearances and stuff on little sitcom shows and stuff.
That's kind of Greek to us deep Southerners, a surfboard. We don't really know what to do with those.
Yeah.
They're out there. What do they call them now? Boogie boards you put behind boats and pull? Those little things you stand on.
Yeah,
you hold it up.
I'm not. I've tried that. I just
Didn't work
can't.
out?
No. Yeah, it was a knee board I tried one time. I went face first into the water and did not let go of the rope. So that was not good. Yeah. I ate water.
Had to hurt.
I can inner tube like ain't nobody's business now behind a boat. Just sit in the inner tube and be pulled until they start flying you around, slinging you around.
Do you come out of it ever on the inner
I
tube?
have, yes. It's been years since I was on one, but yeah, we flipped. We did like a across the water, yeah. But that's fun.
1967, and everybody thought it was about their town. Jackson was released by Johnny Cash in June and entered the charts on this date, and of course it was huge.
Yeah.
She broke out her J-Pan fan, if you remember that line from it.
I remember in the movie when they sung it at the prison.
Yeah.
Remember, on the stage. Yeah.
Big song for them. It was 1978, and this happened, of course, in Mississippi. The IRS waited in the pre-morning hours of the morning and thought, yep, it's time to go get our stuff. They raided Jerry Lee Lewis's home, and he owed $170,000, and they collected cars and anything they could get for the back taxes. Now, I don't remember if it was one of those instances like Willie to where he was unaware that his tax people weren't doing the right thing.
I mean, why you got to raid somebody's home?
You could knock on the door.
Right. Or you can call, like, we coming to pick up
we'll
the
be there.
car
We're sitting out front now.
Right. I mean, something like you got to just bust in there. I don't see the point,
But they do things like that.
Yeah.
It was 1983 in a secret ceremony, and later they went to Burger King to celebrate. And who would do this? Well, George Jones. He got married on his date to Nancy. And, of course, Nancy was the final thing that actually put George's life together. She saved him from drinking, turned his life around, and really made him the superstar that he ended up being, and, of course, still protecting his legacy.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think I told you I saw George Jones. Where were we? Somewhere in Alabama. And he didn't sing long because something wasn't suiting him. And he bumped the, whatever it was, the speaker or something.
Yeah.
Something was not sounding right to him, and he was
Didn't
in
like
an ill
it.
mood. He bumped it and left. I can't do this.
That's why they called him No-Show Jones.
We were so aggravated, and so I can't remember if he eventually come back out, but I want to say the Confederate Railroad was there too, or something. I don't know. We ended up listening to them or text.
Yeah,
was it?
they actually done the entire show for that.
Okay, yeah, and so I mean, we were just like, really, we have drove all this way, and he's going to kick the speaker after about 5 minutes of singing and be gone. But
didn't suit him.
no.
And, of course, and I remember, back when I used to do concerts in Meridian, I talked to George's people, and I was trying to book him for a show in Meridian to do one of those concerts we used to do, and they said, George doesn't need anything right now. It had gotten to the point later in his career when he wanted to do something around the house, like pave some driveways, he'd go do a show. And he goes, George don't need to do anything right now. But when he gets ready to do something, he'll talk to you.
Yeah,
he didn't want to do a concert that week. It was funny. In other news, John Candy, do you remember him?
I do remember him. He was so funny. And I remember when he died, I was just like, oh, my God, I just couldn't believe it. I knew he was overweight and it was different. Probably he had health issues.
Yeah.
But The Great Outdoors?
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
And
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, yeah.
But a funny guy. But it was 1994. That has been 26 years ago.
Time just flies.
It does. 2000, who remembers this? Amazed. It was #1 for Lone Star Up on this date. It was also on the pop charts along with the country charts.
That's a great song. And we went to the Raleigh Center and saw him, a year or two ago when they were there. It was great. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be able to go. I had said, I want to go, and last minute, we got some tickets from somebody and we went.
Hey, I went and watched Diamond Rio, and they came out, and I thought, who are them people? Because, I still see the videos from back in the day, and they had aged like 50 years. And I'm like, I don't know them people. they don't look the same.
Yeah, a lot of them don't look the same. And I don't know if this guy with the long hair was has he always been in the group? The one on the left, the little young guy. He's real young. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, they put on a good show, and I waited the whole time to hear that song, Amazed. And I think towards the end is when they did it. But
what was the song about about the kids lost his job today and came home? You know what I'm talking about? No, apparently you don't.
I do remember some songs. No, there was one, Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
I was at a gathering in Nashville. I went up for, I forget what event, and that song had not been released yet. And it was probably 60 of us at this event. And they came out, and underneath the table, they had all these baby bottles and stuff, and they came out and performed that song for the first time. It was real neat how they introduced it, Mr. Mom.
I remember the video. It was on, CMT?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's back when they did videos. They don't do that anymore.
And I hate that, because I used to love to watch videos.
Yeah, gone.
We watched MTV videos and CMT videos, and
So, what was the first, let me ask you this, first video that CMT ever played?
Lord, I don't know.
You remember the name B.J. Thomas?
Yeah.
Remember a song of his called Two Car Garage? It was big back in the day. But that was the first video that CMT aired long time ago.
I used to watch CMT all the time, and I guess that's what, like, White Horse Cafe, remember when they used to do line dancing and stuff?
Yep.
We'd watch that all the time. And then we had a place in Meridian where you could go line dance. I can't remember, it was on B Street. Do you remember that?
The Neon something?
No, it wasn't a neon. It was something to do with country, I think is what it was called. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
Cowboys or no, I don't know. Anyway, we would go and line dance. They'd have lessons and we'd line dance. I used to love it. I mean, it was fun.
There used to be Senior Frogs, and there was the Travel Inn, and Richie's. Who remembers that?
I don't remember Richie's.
Okay, she's trying to. 2004, they opened up the cell door and let her out. Martha Stewart walked out free from prison on this date.
You know, I wonder about Martha Stewart in prison. You think she was in there, like, showing them how to, like, do crafts and stuff?
You know, what is shocking about all that is she's probably one of very, very few, and she had to have made somebody mad, celebrities that have ever done jail time over something.
How long was she in there? I can't remember.
Let's see if it tells here. It wasn't all that long. I'd have to go back to the news story. There doesn't tell the length of time.
Can you imagine Martha Stewart going through the line in the cafeteria to get something to eat, having to eat what they're cooking and thinking, I would not have served that.
That'd be Martha.
I would not have done that way.
And who knows, she may have ran the jail, because, there's always somebody you got to go to. Martha may have been the chick that ran the place.
She could have. I bet she had everything organized.
2008, Alan Jackson had the #1 album with Good Time. That was a great CD. Also, 2010, Rascal Flatts made a cameo appearance on CSI Investigation. I didn't see that episode. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
But, of course, they played themselves on the show. That was a pretty neat little thing. a couple of sad day
Yes.
on this date, 2016. They made real good friends with Naomi Judd and went on to win the talent search. And this date, Joey Feek passed away with cancer. She was such a beautiful woman.
Yes, she was. And I followed this, you know. I
Joe,
was like a
Rory's
Facebook
page.
friend. Yeah, I was on that page, and I followed the pictures and the videos of her with her, you know, her little girl. And it's just so sad. I mean, it really was. She's very talented and just beautiful, and, you know.
Now, Rory wrote Blake Shelton's Some Beach. He's the
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote that song. And he still does a lot of writing, and you know he's documented everything about her life as all that happened for the kids, and he still continues. If you don't follow him on Facebook, it's and he's got a web page. It's a great thing, but bless her heart,
Yeah.
she lost all her way. It was just saddening. Is that a proper way to word it?
I mean, it really is. But you know, she did a song in the end. You know that.
Forget me when I'm gone.
Yes, and I'm tell you what, the tears just go streaming when you listen to that, because I mean, it was just what she lived. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It
But
was just so
Cheater,
sad.
Cheater, where'd you meet that white trash?
Yeah.
That was such
Yeah.
a great song.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but they were good
but-
people.
yeah, and just to watch how they lived. I mean, it was kind of like they lived a simple life. You
Yeah.
know, even though they had the fame and everything, they had a farm, and you know, they didn't get super fancy with everything. I mean, and even in the end, I mean, they had a simple life, and he's raising his daughter, which has Down syndrome, his little girl, because I
Right.
think there's like three girls
I think
total,
so.
maybe, or something. But anyway, he's raising that little girl, and she's the cutest little thing.
Now, an interesting fact about him, when he moved into the house, and they started doing concerts there to where they didn't have to travel when she started getting sick. He done research on the land that they bought, and he found a letter from the guy that owned the house. It was built during the Civil War. And Lord forgive me, I'll think of it in a minute, the name of it. But he took the exact letter and wrote a song about it. Josephine is the name of the song. That's it, Josephine. And he's off in the war fighting, and he thinks he's going to die, and he tells her, you know, go ahead, Mary, but please don't forget me. Make sure he takes care of my children, Josephine. Oh, and he was making a movie about all of that to when, saying things about the South became culturally not right. He'd gotten part of it filmed. I don't know what become of it, because they probably wouldn't play it now because it dealt with the Civil War. But if you ever have a chance, check that out. And I may have gone too far on that long-winded, but a great story.
But there was a movie out about them, Joey and
I hadn't
Rory,
seen that.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Joey and Rory.
And they were a sweet couple. You know,
He was the overall
I know he
weird
misses
guy.
her. Yeah.
This I had almost forgotten about. Of course, we're coming up on, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Luke Perry died. And of course, he first came to the scene when it came to 90210. And then he went in and played Lane Frost in 8 Seconds, which brought a whole new audience.
I saw that at the movie theater.
Great movie.
It was.
And he had a stroke. He was
Yeah.
such a young guy.
Yeah, that was so unexpected. You know, when all that happened, I remember.
And I want to say he'd done a couple of those Lifetime movies also. So we did lose quite a few people on this date that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
So that kind of catches you up to date on that. Let's talk about the good folks out of the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. New sales items are underway there this week. If you need some groceries, this is where you head to. Off to see my friend Joe, where you can get the fresh tomatoes, $1.99 for that 4-pack. You can get the navel oranges, still on sale for the California ones, 4-pound bag, $3.99. Mississippi sweet potatoes, 59 cents a pound. Also, the fresh celery sticks, $1.99. You can get the fresh green onions for 69 cents. Chicken noodle, $1.79 for that 18-ounce bottle. The squeezable ketchup, 2 for $6 there, 32-ounce bottle. Always have a couple of them.
Yeah.
The Skippy peanut butter, $2.29 there for that 16-ounce jar. And the Dixie Crystals, $1.99 this week. Not bad for getting your sugar.
Yeah.
Blue Plate, got to have a little bit for a sandwich.
Yeah, you do.
So
Blue
you say
Plate is-
sandwich or sandwich?
I say sandwich.
I've heard it said both ways.
Sandwich.
You can get that
I
2
know.
for $6. Well, you know, when somebody's in a hurry, give me a sandwich.
Yeah.
You've heard that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it. I just don't say it.
30-ounce jar. A little redneckish, I'm sure. The saltine crackers, still $1 a box there if you need some crackers, along with ribeye steaks, $12.99 a pound there. Great steaks for cooking out, along with the chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $4.99. You can get the assorted pork chops, $1.39 a pound for the pork chops, and the Blue Bonnet spread margarine, 45-ounce, along with Coca-Cola products, and as always, great drinking water there, 3 for $10. Where do you get it? At the Piggly Wiggly of Collins. We'll drop in and see Joe. He'll help you out there with all your fixings there for your meal.
I need the Skippy peanut butter. You know, do you remember, what was her name? She was on the Mickey Mouse Club. You know what I'm talking about? Remember the old commercial with the Skippy? And she was on there, dark-haired lady. What was her name?
See, it's not Annette Funicello because she done orange juice, didn't she?
Yeah, that was her.
Was it?
Yeah,
was
she was a Skippy. I think she did a Skippy peanut butter commercial. I think she did. Yeah, yeah.
Didn't know that.
It was her.
Well, now I've learned something.
See, talking about commercials, have you? Has anybody seen the Cadbury?
Yeah, I got it on our Facebook page here where you can take a look at that.
Yeah.
It's a different twist.
Yeah, that's to me. I mean, that's a little graphic to me.
Very graphic.
I just don't think that was a place to put that in a commercial.
I agree with you on that.
Kids look at the Cadbury egg commercials all the time. I mean, that's like one of the.
They're getting eaten alive online about this.
Well, it always had the little chicken. Well, it had the rabbit, and it was clucking like a chicken. Yeah. Remember? And so kids, I always, watched that as a kid. I just think that's too graphic for kids to watch.
There has turned out to be a lot of graphic things.
Well, there's like no limits to what they can put out there now.
It's wide open.
Even with like some of the language they use, used to they'd bleep out stuff. Now,
no, it's there.
Right.
And where will it end?
I don't think it's going to end.
It ends when money talks, and I've said this before. It ends when people quit buying products that cross the line of what they don't believe in. Is what happened. They pay attention when that happens.
Well, I got a feeling the Cadbury egg might not be selling too hot this year.
Yeah, and we ought to check on that, kind of follow that of what happens there. I'm curious as to how that will come about. We'll see about that. Let's see. Joyce put in 2004, Martha Stewart was sent to prison. She had been charged and convicted. It still doesn't say how long she'd been in prison. 5 months, right there. She spent 5 months in jail, thanks to Joyce Godwin. Now we know.
Yes.
Teaching them to make it's correct.
Yeah, she probably was, Barbara. I'm telling you, she probably taught them all kind of stuff up in the jailhouse. And
Janice Overby was pointing out how you can be locked up in Facebook jail for just a political statement very easily to where others get away with these commercials nationally. And it is just not the end thing to be conservative and to have faith in God. That's one of the things that you get earmarked real quick marked by.
Well, but you got to stand firm,
Yes, you do.
in what you believe.
Don't back down. Uncle Joe says that America tells him not to let the guard down after Texas and Mississippi has opened up the state. He's not happy. What did he call us?
Let's see. What did he call us?
Nathanderol.
Wait,
how you say that?
Look, I had it in my, I was saying it.
Nathanderol? How do you say it? That's why I wasn't going to use it because I knew
Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Neanderthals.
Kneecap.
Are you a Neanderthal?
I didn't think I was, but
didn't
maybe
think I was
am.
either.
But Joe says we might be.
But you know what? I mean, I think there's a lot of Neanderthal type people up in Washington right now.
It probably
dictator
is.
Type people. What you think? I don't know.
And a big ass. And this is something you got to remember. Nowadays are different. Unless you have a 1986 automobile or below, when you have a wreck, they can really investigate you. And by George, those insurance companies do it. Yeah, the black box has been recovered.
I know. When I heard that the other day, the black box, you usually hear that in plane crashes, I didn't realize our cars had a black box.
All you got to do is hook a computer up to it, and it tells exactly what that car was doing before it was shut off.
But I will say this. I think it's kind of odd because, when we bought our car used, and, I told you the other day, when I pull up, it says Maps has marked your car as being parked.
Right.
And this
What'd you find
morning,
out?
when my husband cranked my car and my phone was in the house, it said it lit up maps on my phone right when he cranked my car. And so we did not, buying it used, you have the option of doing the OnStar thing.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that. Like, I didn't
Pay that extra $80
Yeah,
a
I
month.
wasn't going to do that. I mean, And so I'm wondering if that's not working, how is my car being marked?
You've done something to where it's paired.
parked.
It's paired some kind of a way.
I don't know. I wouldn't think they would. Usually it doesn't pair until I get in the car with my phone.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't know the answer to this.
That's crazy. Yeah, we might all have black boxes in our car. and not
You
even know
do.
it.
If it's a new one, you do. Because
So-
they can plug up and get the last information from all wrecks there. Let's see here. Uncle Joe has sent Jill on the road to Connecticut to try to reopen the schools there to kind of ease things. He had that 100-day deadline set up, and it's not looking good that schools are going to be open by then. He's trying, he says. There's a lot of promises, I think, that are going to be broke.
Right. I think people, in his case, I think he said a lot of things just to get elected.
Absolutely.
And
Didn't think he would.
Right.
In the beginning. I think, and we all know this will happen because there's so much money made off of wars, and it's the good old boy system. A rocket did attack a U.S. air base in Iraq. So be watching as things escalate. I do feel that we'll be in some type of conflict where products can be sold for war needs before long.
I think that's where my stepson was a while back, or Tanner.
Yeah.
That's where he was at the Al Assad Air Base, if I'm not mistaken.
One did die, but it was a contractor that was there that had a heart attack.
Okay.
They took cover and he had a heart attack. It scared him.
Yeah.
And, that can happen. So our thoughts to his family. Now, this is one of those creepy things that goes on across, probably more so than you know. But this guy has been arrested. He's being sued now by 17 employees for doing upskirt videos. And what he would do was take a camera and put in his shoelaces and then call them over and talk to them, slide his foot up underneath their dress and video it. And then pat him on the back, where he could get maybe a better angle. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's going to cost him probably his restaurants and everything now.
Well, it ought to.
It should.
Creep.
Yeah, that's and
Oh, creepy creep.
the question will
Looks
be,
like
is any
crazy.
of them under 18? And if any of
Right.
them were and they can prove it, he's got a really, really big mess on his hands. An arrest has been made. We brought you this story a couple of days ago out of New York, to where a child was found by a police officer in the middle of the night on the
Yeah.
street. The mother has been found and she's been arrested. They were both homeless, and she was going to a homeless shelter and just left her. And they found her in a homeless shelter. Somebody finally recognized her and said, that's her, and she's down there.
That is so sorry. People just are sorry.
Yeah, that's horrible to leave a child.
It is.
And if you watch the video, let me pull that back up there. This is a still picture, but there's the mother. In the background is the child, and that's where she leaves her right there. Just walks away from her. That you don't do puppy dogs that way.
No. It's awful.
As more cancel culture attacks the United States, Universal Studios is considering, they're evaluating, is the way they put it, the zoo play area. If I rent a zoo play area, they may get rid of it. They hadn't said that they would, but they are evaluating it. I don't see any harm in it.
I don't see any harm in it either. I mean, we've got TV shows, to me, that are more racist right now going on than
Absolutely.
this. And I'm talking about just blatant
Oh, yeah, it's not
comments
hidden.
about another race. I mean, just put it out there, and that's fine. That's supposed to be okay.
You're right.
I don't agree with it.
I back you on that there, Candace.
Yep.
It does happen. Let's see what else is happening here. Joe. We hadn't heard from Joe Exotic in a while, have we?
No.
He really
Poor
thought
Joe.
Trump was going to turn him loose. Didn't happen.
I wonder, I mean, surely, I bet in jail, Joe don't have the bleached hair anymore.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that's bleached. He's probably all dark-headed and stuff now.
So have you ever done prison hair?
No, I hadn't.
I'm just curious. Do
I've not done prison hair.
Do they cut hair on site there, or do they have people come in and do it?
I don't know about prison. Now, I've gone to the hospital and done somebody's hair, but never had a request to come to the prison.
Maybe they're watching you from prison now.
Yeah, I'm not a prison hair doer, so
Debbie,
Don't call me.
Back in the day when me and Debbie were on the radio, Debbie used to get letters from prisoners all the time.
Oh, really?
So you may start getting letters from prisoners.
Thanks, Scotty Ray, for that.
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm sure they were nice people.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not saying they're not nice people, but I ain't going up in the prison and doing hair, okay? I just ain't going to do it.
Just letting you know what's out there.
I'll bring you a ponytail holder and a brush, and that's about the extent. I'm just not.
Somebody got to shave the heads, though. I'm sure no, okay.
Unless I have somebody that I know that's in prison that's part of my family and they need a haircut or something. I doubt the prison people let you come in and cut hair, though.
Okay.
I mean, I doubt that.
Yeah,
they probably got a nurse or something in there. That's, yeah.
As we go to this, so if this happens, just be aware. Breast cancer. They're saying that mammograms are picking up swelling in breasts after you have taken the COVID shot. You don't have cancer, but it does make something swell inside, and your lymph nodes to swell.
That's scary.
And so it's a false alarm that, oh my gosh, I got a lump. So if you have that, just keep that in the mind. Don't panic.
Right.
Because that is something to panic over. So keep it in mind.
That's scary.
Yeah. So that's in there. Let's see here.
That's the first I've heard of that. I've not heard that until today. So is one of the side effects.
Yeah, and there's probably side effects that no one knows about. This, and thankfully, I know that a lot of people work really hard on this to get it out to save lives. But as we all know, that there's got to be some things that they just don't know.
Well, I've had the experience of doing some people's hair who have had COVID, and they've been suffering some hair loss that they'd never had before. So I don't know if anybody has had that issue. They're like, I don't know I have one that her hair's gotten real thin around the front since she had COVID. And then she spoke to somebody else that she knew there was a guy that had been having the same issue. And I know some people have thinning hair regardless, but I'm kind of wondering about after the shot, will that be because I have a customer who had gotten the shot and her hair's starting to thin, and that kind of makes me wonder, could that be a side effect? I don't know.
Let me ask you this about men, since we're on the hair subject there. A lot of men have the thinning hair problem that comes up. But what age is it that the hairs start growing out the ear more on their ears than on their head?
I mean, I see it more like when they're in their 50s.
Okay, yeah, because I saw some hair on mine the other day. I thought, where'd that come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is this going to I'm going to be woolly in my ears before it's all said and done?
But they make wax. I can wax your ears.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Or Angie, I can get Angie some wax. She can wax your ears.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Or, some people just buzz it off with clippers, but it comes right back. It grows right back.
How long does the waxing on the ears last?
Longer than if you just trim it.
See, who else knew that you could get your ears waxed?
I think your nose hair and your ear hair grows faster when you get older.
Oh, and don't forget to be trimming them eyebrows. Don't be going nowhere in those bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, don't look. I have seen some eyebrows that you could comb them back and cover up a bald spot. Or I just make the joke, we're going to start braiding these things.
So you got to get them trimmed.
Right. Get your eyebrows trimmed. We don't need them to look like eyelashes.
Don't most hairdressers, if you ask them, they'll do that when they cut your
usually when I trim a guy's hair, I trim his eyebrows. Or I ask. Some people might not want them trimmed, but
you ought to just do it and not tell them.
Well, I always like to ask because, I'd hate to buzz somebody's eyebrows. I don't buzz them off. I just trim them really good, to where they're not
woolly,
sticking way out, like waving at you.
Like Mr. Potato Heads.
Yeah.
Just a thought there.
Yeah.
Now, this also is a first. And before I go into this story, this is South Carolina, what we're talking about. Okay, you're a bad person. You've been sentenced to death in prison. Well, you get there, and this has been, I forget why this has been running low, but the injection, the fluid, the lethal injection has been hard to come by. So they haven't been able to carry out a lot of these sentences. So they're coming up with alternative ways now. The electric chair, and they're also putting back an option for the firing squad. And while you're there on death row, they give you an option of, okay, we can give you the shot, which we're out of.
Right. Yeah, we can give you the shot, and you just kind of drift on off into sleep. Or we can line up and shoot you.
Yeah. The firing squad has been added back to the ways of execution in South Carolina.
I can't imagine somebody choosing that, but
I can't either.
But I did not know this. Tell them what you told me earlier about the firing.
Say you have, I forget how many it is, but it's a certain amount, 6 to 9 people, and maybe a dozen.
Yeah, I thought
line
they
up.
just all shoot you at one time.
Yeah,
like Scotty
but
Ray.
only one person has a live bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has a fake bullet, and no one knows who has the actual live shell that goes into the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So only one of them kills it, and then that way you're not haunted by it was me. You can always think, well, it was his gun that done that.
Yeah.
So just thought you might want to know that little tidbit of
Yeah, I
interest
didn't
there.
know that until today. It's a neat fact.
It is. Let's see. As we begin today, Thursday, we're going toward the weekend, and we do want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining us. Share our page and follow it. Weather will turn bad eventually as we head into tornado season. Plus, you'll get to see all the interesting stuff we come up with each day.
Yeah.
Share it so others will know about it. Anything else we need to cover this morning?
I don't think so.
We had the food giveaway yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Things are kind of getting back to normal after all the ice storms. People still doing repairs on their homes from limbs, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. But
Yeah, I know there's still a lot of limbs on the side of the road. I'm not sure when they'll get those picked up, but just be
Process has
careful
started,
because a lot of times they're taking up part of the road, and so a lot of people tend to move on over, away from them, and it puts them in the other lane. So just be careful because it's on both sides of the road.
has it been cleaned up going into the North Hills area there on the right side as you're coming in on 493? Because there were some on the right.
No, I still saw limbs there yesterday.
Okay.
So, and all through town, I still see limbs all over the sides of the road. I'm sure they're trying, and I'm sure they're at a,
It's a large area to get all this up.
right. So I'm sure it's time consuming. So just everybody have patience, but be careful is what I'm getting at.
Right. Again, most of all, we want to say thank you to you for watching this morning. Thanks a bunch, and a big thank you to all the sponsors that help us out each and every day to bring you the latest and the greatest of what comes about.
Yes.
She's going to go do some eyebrows somewhere, and if you would like to have your ears waxed, give us your location where they can come
My
find
goodness.
you today.
Look, yes. We're right off of North Hill Street. It's Voila Salon, and we're right down the hill from McAllister's.
And
Kansas.
I remember when that opened up, the name, when I saw it in writing, I looked at it, I kept going, whoa, 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 whoa.
Some people say Viola.
I couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had to be straightened out how to pronounce it. Voila.
Yes, a lot of people say, "Don't you work at Viola?" And I'm like, "No, it's Voila,"
But I would not have known that.
But there's a big V on the window, and it'll have the sign up on the outside.
It starts with a V, but it's pronounced with a W.
Right. It's French, I guess. It's supposed to be French.
Okay.
But we're right next to Rec World. If y'all know where that is, it's a workout place right off of North Hill Street, right behind North Hills Dental. But either come see us or give us a call, and we'll be happy to
She
help
get
you.
to waxing you. I'm just saying.
I wax eyebrows usually, and like women will get like their upper lip waxed or something. But anyway, I just thought that I had a request yesterday from my wife to tweeze the hairs from her husband's ears because she was tired of looking at them, and I'm like, it'd be quicker just to wax them.
So you waxed,
That's
boy.
what I did. Yeah.
All right. See, we've all learned a few things this morning. Again, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 again, and I'll be here throughout the day to make sure that you know the latest and the greatest when it comes to things going on. Thanks, Candace. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by